military expertise. Certified Army professionals. All professions, including the U.S. Army, exist to provide a vital service that society cannot provide for itself. The Army serves society by defending the nation through its military expertise. The design, generation, support, and ethical application of land power, primarily in unified land operations and all supporting capabilities essential to accomplish the mission in defense of the American people. Our professional responsibility as stewards of the Army profession is to advance our expert knowledge and skills through lifelong learning and certification of Army professionals.
The education, training, and experience we receive as members of the Army profession prepare and enable us to effectively and ethically serve our nation. In developing this expertise, we accomplish three critical tasks. First, we create professional knowledge and understanding. Second, we develop Army professionals to apply their military expertise under mission command. And third, we certify the competence, character, and commitment of our professionals. This certification is essential to preserving trust with the American people and within the Army profession.
Army professionals must continuously develop expertise in the military technical, moral ethical, political cultural, and leader human development fields of knowledge through training, education, self-development, and experience. The military technical field includes knowledge of Army force design, force generation, the effective and ethical use of land power, integration of technology, and the conduct of military operations.
What defines us uniquely is military technical expertise, and that's the ability to design, generate, support, and apply combat power in a variety of different situations.
Everyone in the Army needs to have a very good understanding of their job, be tactically and technically proficient. If I don't know my job and my battle buddy doesn't know his job, what service can we provide for our unit and ultimately our country?
We demand that our civilian cohort be proficient in their fields, but more important, there are many that we demand be experts in their fields.
It gives you credibility and allows people to trust what you say because they know you know your job and that you're effective at it.
Ensuring not just that we know our job, but every soldier in our career field down below us understands their job, because we have to make sure that we continue to grow the force, make sure that they understand what their jobs are, not only today, but in the future.
Our expert knowledge changes all the time, so they have to have new tactics, techniques, and procedures as time moves along and as the nature of warfare changes.
The moral ethical field includes knowledge of how the Army applies its land power according to the American people's ethical expectations and values. This field includes the legal and moral content of the Army ethic and the cultural norms. It includes shared and commonly agreed upon standards, beliefs, rules, and expectations that guide behavior and are passed from generation to generation.
As an officer or as a leader, you carry with you the moral and ethical character that you must have. If you don't have those, you undermine everything that you do.
Every time you make a decision about applying force, there's a moral, ethical component to it.
In a stressful moment, you never know how you individually are going to react to something. You need to ensure you're grounded, that you're a person of character. Professionals are men and women of character.
The Army, through its actions and its behavior, drive you to where the organizational values and your personal values become one.
Being a member of the Army team as a Department of the Army civilian means you're an integral part of the profession. You profess and incorporate into your daily ways the Army values and the way of doing business.
And so knowing that the people to your left and your right have the same value system as you do, and then when things get really difficult, everyone is going to react similarly, or at least base their actions on a shared belief system.
If you live your life with integrity, then you're going to do the right thing in any situation. It's going to keep you from making decisions that you shouldn't make.
We owe it to the society. We can't be a military that doesn't have a strong value system and then still serve what the country is asking us to do for them.
The political cultural field includes knowledge of how Army professionals and units interact with unified action partners and civilian populations in all civil-military relations.
Cultural awareness is kind of a subset of language, regional expertise, and cultural competencies that all of our forces and all of our individuals have to have in some degree to operate effectively abroad.
It amazes me sometimes just to see the training we get in order to learn about each culture, be able to adapt to different situations, and at the same time teach these young soldiers how to be adaptable in their environment.
At the training centers like the NTC, they have cultural advisors that come in. You simulate a lot of negotiation type things or key leader engagements in Iraq, dealing with local farmer around our base to help improve base security. If I hadn't had that training, I might have walked in cold and not achieved the desired outcome to where it was both mutually beneficial.
So we need to know how to best operate within the various places that America sends us. But it's also a little bit broader than that. We have to understand our own culture within the United States Army. We have to understand our own culture in America.
The United States Armed Services is an amalgamation of the American population, where you'll get people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different races, and we all have to have that singular same purpose.
It's really important to be not only self-aware, but aware that everybody's different and each person has value in that organization. And it's important for you as a leader to understand those differences so that you can leverage them.
And very importantly, frankly, our own civilian partners, be they part of the U.S. government, be they part of non-governmental organizations or other host nation governments, we'll work with all those partners. We call it unified action partners in conducting operations. So we have to understand other people's views and how to incorporate them.
The Leader Human Development field informs how the profession inspires American citizens to a calling of service that develops their professional identity and talents and certifies them in competence, character, and commitment. Critical within this field is the knowledge of leader development.
The number one resource we have is human capital. As you look at our leadership philosophy of mission command, develop your command as a team.
Leader development for us is essential to who we are. We have to take in a soldier, a warrant officer, or an officer, or even Army civilian, and develop them so that over time they can take on responsibility, either through increased rank or through positions. If we did not develop our people, if we did not develop our leaders, we wouldn't be effective.
And so that is our asymmetric capability in the United States Army. It's not our technology, it's not the great resources that our nation has, it is the great leadership. Leadership will never become obsolete.
We want to teach people to become independent, confident. They know their job. They feel like they can do almost anything that's put in front of them. So if we have a willing soldier to put forth that effort, that's all I need, and I'll train them on everything else.
Graduation from AIT is specifically important because we continue the transformation of these young Americans into soldiers, training them in their specific military occupational skills and sending them into the operational force.
Every civilian employee has a supervisor, and that supervisor is a leader, and that leader is responsible for the professional development of his or her employees.
You've become very competent in your job, in your military occupational specialty, and now we need to build you into a leader within that environment. We still want you to build your skill inside the technical parts of your job, but now you have to start looking at what is required to be a leader. So as you transition from being a soldier into a non-commissioned officer, we tie that into the non-commissioned officer creed, which also talks to the ideas of being competent, committed, and the character with which you will lead soldiers throughout the rest of your time in the Army.
Certification is verification and validation of an Army professional's competence, character, and commitment to fulfill responsibilities and perform assigned duties with discipline and to standard.
Certification is a mutual responsibility between the individual who seeks it and the institution which grants it. and re-grants it every time they go to a new level of expertise.
It is a tangible process where we ensure that professionals can do what we expect professionals to do.
Soldier first, then their MOS, their career field. They have got to be wonderfully adept at every aspect of their job and push themselves, encourage themselves to get that certification that carries over on the civilian side.
We need to have the military technical competence to fight wars effectively. We need to have the moral character to fight wars rightly. And we need to have the commitment to serve in a profession honorably all of our lives as a calling, as a servant to the people, not as a job. This is a calling to be an Army professional.
Competence, an Army professional's demonstrated ability to perform his or her duties successfully and to accomplish the mission with discipline and to standard. Character, an Army professional's dedication and adherence to the Army values and the profession's ethic as consistently and faithfully demonstrated in decisions and actions. Commitment, the resolve of Army professionals to contribute honorable service to the nation, to perform their duties successfully with discipline and to standard, and to strive to successfully and ethically accomplish the mission despite adversity, obstacles, and challenges. Army professionals must understand that our military expertise makes our profession unique and enables us to establish and maintain trust with the American people while defending the nation and its interests abroad.
Leader development is a critical building block in the foundation of our Army profession. For more than a decade, our focus has been on providing our soldiers with tactical skills required to win our nation's wars. As our Army postures for future requirements, we must focus on leader development despite our physical constraints. I expect all leaders at every level to look for innovative ways to build upon our combat experiences and conduct effective leader development programs. We must be steadfast in our commitment to leader development that is founded on our Army values, get back to the basics and reinforce the importance of focus areas such as training management, equipment maintenance, and property accountability, as well as personal and professional accountability. The Center for Army Profession and Ethic is a valuable resource in this endeavor, and I encourage you to incorporate the tools and assets they provide. Our soldiers deserve your investment in their professional development and the future of our Army's leaders.